You asked for a book about rock from me, and now you've got one. Cause Effect Metallica is a look at the album Metallica, commonly referred to as the Black Album, by me, heavy metal critic and co-host of the Classic Metal Show, Chris Akin. In this book, I remember back to the lead-up and the eventual release of Metallica, including stories of how the release affected me as a person, the line in the sand it drew between old-school and new-school Metallica fans, and how the release single-handedly changed the way commercial rock radio stations were programmed. This is my second book, and I'm proud to have it out there, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It is Cause and Effect Metallica, available now on Amazon.com. Go to Amazon.com. Or my personal website, probably the easiest way to get it, chrisakinbooks.com. Get to it, jerkies. Did you happen to see that I moved down another peg on the Chris Akin famous wagon this week?
No.
So you heard about that guy, the fucking L.A. douchebag that shot up a bunch of people because he couldn't get laid?
Yeah. I sent you over that link.
Yeah. Did you read the story?
No.
Fucking first thing it says... The best friend of this guy, Chris Akin.
Oh, yeah. Is that the guy from England or something?
No, this is another Chris Akin.
Another Chris Akin.
Who's the best friend of this fucking kid. This fucking shooter kid.
Right.
I was like, God damn it, now I'm behind that kid. I'm behind the dog trainer guy.
Sure.
Behind the football player. I just keep rolling down the hill.
Nice.
One of these guys needs to fucking die off so I can jump back up where I belong.
Well, you know, not that, you know, everybody kind of feels for a tragedy like that, but what about the attitude of the parents out there with the, you know, the reason this happened was because of the douchebag politicians and their gun control problem. They need to make more laws.
Yeah, well, you know what, douchebag parent, I'm sorry your kid got killed, but you know what, it wasn't killed by my gun.
Yeah. It wasn't killed by a law. A law never stopped anybody from robbing a bank.
Yeah, might have been killed. And see, dude, the weird part about it is I'm actually, believe it, you know I'm pro-gun, but at the same time, I'm actually for a little bit more gun control, believe it or not. I'm actually for some kind of nonpartisan standardized mental health testing.
Well, again, let's regulate the people. Let's not regulate the guns.
And that's what I think. I have no problem with having to go and... There's two things I think this is all my personal thing, but there's two things I think everybody with a gun should have to do every year. You should have to take some sort of a short health exam, like almost like a driver's license type exam, but like a mental health test, and wear once a year and produce your goddamn gun.
Sure.
So that people know that you're not selling them out the fucking back door to fucking criminals.
Right. Well, there has to be a check and balance. I agree with that. But just saying, well, you know, this guy was irresponsible with his gun, so we just need to take him away from everybody.
Yeah. And maybe I missed it or something. What happened to 10-day hold?
Yeah, that's another thing.
You know, I mean, I bought 2 guns last year, or in the last 2 years, I bought 2 guns. I bought my my assault rifle. And I was literally stunned at how easy it was to get them.
Sure.
You know, I mean, when I bought the Judge, and this is no bullshit, when I bought the Judge, it literally was 5 the gun in my hand and liked it to the time I walked out with the gun.
Right.
5 minutes.
Right.
And you know what? If I'm pissed off at my bitch or whatever, that's a little too short a time.
Well, that's what happens when you date bitches.
Well, you know what? If you date women, you do. So, you know,
Nice.
You know, at some level, on some... Yeah, I mean, you know as well as I do that chicks will make you fucking nuts. And, you know, I can honestly see that somebody that doesn't have a gun walking in and doesn't have a fucking buying a gun, going back and blowing her fucking head off. I totally see that happening. I mean, I believe for me being as my cold dead hand as I am about guns, I definitely would support some moniker of adaptation to it. I mean, it's crazy the way it is now, yet I'll never give mine up.
Right.
Fuck that.
Right.
You know.
Well, a friend of mine was signing up for some health care through this quote-unquote this abomination, Obamacare.
Sorry to hear that.
And, you know, part of the application process for the you know, insurance or whatever, they were asking, do you have firearms in your home?
Why?
That was part of the questioning.
Fuck off.
You know, it's just like, so he just shredded it up and threw it in the trash.
Yeah.
Said, you know what? I can do without health care. I don't need people intruding and whether I have firearms in my home. What has this got to do with treating this this mole on my shoulder?
Yeah, exactly. What, are you gonna shoot it off?
Right.
I mean, yeah, fuck that, dude. There's way too much government intrusion in everybody's fucking life now.
Right.
There's way too much of it. And you know what? I feel more than ever I need guns. What I need is ammo.
Right.
So that when these fuckers start rolling up the street, I can at least take a couple with me before they kill me.
Sure.
Shit.
Well, getting back to that mass shooter kid.
Yeah.
All for pussy.
Lack of
pussy.
All right. Here's the underlying story that the news will not cover, though. How big of a fucking loser was this guy?
He had to be because he
and he looked like he didn't look weird or anything.
Yeah, and his father is a kind of a semi-famous person.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. How hard would it be to be 22 years old and be like, "Hey, I'll tell you what. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to take you to my house. We're going to watch the Hunger Games that my dad directed on our personal screen.
Right.
And I'll get my dad to sign a copy of it for you, a copy of the movie poster for you.
Sure.
All you got to do is suck my dick in my BMW."
Right.
How hard would that be?
I don't know.
And do you honestly, if you use that technique, which is as brash and fucked as it can be, he would get his dick sucked.
Absolutely.
Of course he would. With 22-year-old kids, they love that fucking Hunger Games.
They love that too. And it's just like this kid was no slouch. It wasn't like he was driving a 1996 or 1986 Chevy Chevette.
He's driving a 2013 Beamer?
Right. He's driving a BMW. He looked fairly normal.
Yeah, he wasn't shit or anything.
Yeah. And he couldn't get a chick to look at him.
Yeah, you know he must have just gave off that aura of I'm a fucking creep.
Yeah, his middle name was Dahmer. No, I'm just joking.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it, man. Sure. He lived up to it.
Sure.
Yeah. Did you watch the video? You did watch the video.
I sent it to you.
Yeah, you sent it to me.
Yeah.
What a fucking creep.
Yeah, that guy's...
And that fucking laugh, that fake laugh, I just wanted to punch him in his face.
Well, he took a bullet to the face.
Good.
Unfortunately, he took everybody out with him before he took a bullet to the face.
Yeah,
but,
see, that's what I always wondered. Why can't you just leave people alone? Just kill yourself.
Everybody's got to go out with that big bang.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. Would have been okay if he just offed himself.
Sure.
We never would have knew his name.
That's right.
But now we all know. Congratulations, dickhead. You're famous.
Yeah. Famous after he dies.
Yeah, well. What's funny is, I went to his YouTube channel a couple days after, and all of his fucking videos, which I would guarantee the day that he did the shooting, had like 480,000.
Well, of course, everybody's got that morbid curiosity.
I know, it's just sick, man.
Sure.
The guy had all these videos. He probably did 10 million fucking hits in one app because he shot a bunch of people.
Right.
We are a society of fucking.
We just gotta. It's like a car accident, It's a tragic thing, but you can't stop. You can't help but look.
Dude, this has to do with the celebrity whores. But since we're just rambling anyway, who the fuck is caring about Kim Kardashian? Who is it that? Who is making this fucking bitch famous?
Well, I got to be honest with you. I personally don't know anyone who has anything to say about that. No, I don't know anybody who even watches it, cares about it, talks about it, anything.
I mean, you think it's kids? I mean, I have kids that are that age, and they have no interest in that.
I had to go back because I think this falls into that whole thing of the whole Jersey Shore thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody who was into Jersey Shore either.
I didn't either.
But yet they were huge for a while.
Yeah. I mean, but that one I think the kids were kind of watching.
Yeah.
I just don't pay attention to the Kardashians.
Sure.
But yet, there it is. That they're getting married, and now they're battling for millions of dollars for the fucking photos or whatever.
Right.
Who the fuck wants to see that?
Sure.
We already saw this chick sucking another guy's cock.
Right.
I mean, do we really need to see her in a fucking faux white dress?
Well, what about Bruce Jenner?
Now, I'd rather watch that fucking weirdo all day long.
Can you believe this guy was the poster child for everything that was
for America
that was right with the USA, and he's like a postmenopausal woman now?
Well, that's kind of what they want to be right for the USA now.
Holy shit.
They want us to be supportive of trannies and transgenders.
I mean, this guy was on the Wheaties box,
right?
And he was like the all-American kid, and triathlete, and he broke all the records, and he was everything, and now he looks like he's just a freak of nature now.
Yeah, he looks very strange.
It's like, what the hell happened to that guy?
Yeah, it really went bad fast.
Jesus criminy. I just have no hope for the future.
No.
None.
Especially with the celebrities. Celebrities suck each other off about all these fucking stupid causes that they think are important, so we're supposed to think are important. Especially like gay and transgender shit. You know, you never understand. I'm fine with somebody being gay. You know, that's cool if that's what you're into. But that doesn't mean that everybody has to be like down with it.
Right.
You know, that's what I don't understand is why they think it's the same as with marriage, okay? Now, because I went through a bad marriage, I'm against marriage. And you have a similar experience, correct?
Correct.
So, does that mean that we should be castigated because we're not for marriage?
Well, it's not that personally it's not that I'm not for it. It's just not right for me at this point.
Yeah.
If it ever will be. I don't know if that idea will change, but it's just not my thing.
Yeah, well, but because you're not for it, it is not a big deal. But if you come out and say, you know what, I'm not for gay marriage,
right?
Then all of a sudden you're a fucking hater.
Yeah, well, it's because you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're being because you have.
Well, so what?
Here, let me 3 to 4 years ago.
All right.
When I lived in the 90s, I was we're a truck company, Roadway.
Sure.
And I had 50 employees working for me. I was the youngest supervisor that they ever had in their system for garage operations.
Okay.
You know, I came up very quickly, and I was only, 21 years old.
Right.
And I had 50 mechanics who worked for me in a large line haul garage operation.
Okay.
Well, I was there for about 6 years, got to, be friendly with some of them and so on and so forth. And I left California in the spring of 91.
Right.
And didn't have a lot of contact with anybody that worked for me at that point. Well, about 4 years ago, what is this? Yeah, it was about 2010, 2009.
Okay.
I went to California, and the nightclub that I used to work at, I'm still really good friends with the owners.
Okay.
And they have a small corner bar. And one of the guys that used to work for me, he's been married. She's like a bartender. How's it going? What's going on? Just kind of catching up.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, so what are you doing? Are you married? Nope. Got any kids? Nope. And the first thing out of his mouth was, what happened?
Ugh.
What happened?
What happened?
I said, what do you mean, what happened?
Yeah.
But that was his question. What happened?
Yeah.
Like, am I a weirdo or not to go down that road?
Man, in a way, I mean, people take it. There's expectation of how you're supposed to live your life.
Yeah, but that's just the fun. That course through me. He hit me kind of like, what happened? It's like, well, while you were blissfully married for the last 15 or 20 years.
Yeah.
I've banged out at least 30 chicks. Okay? So that's what happened.
Yeah, that's
I didn't choose to abort any of them.
Right.
So, whatever the case. But I just thought that was a weird line of questioning. What happened?
What happened? That's funny.
Right. So it's just like, I've had my share of some pretty top-notch stank, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So what happened to you, pal?
Yeah, what happened to you with the same chick?
Right.
Every day.
Right. But
gets old. You get to where you just fucking can't even find a new place to touch.
Sure.
That's the part that's the worst in a marriage. Is exactly when it happened. Was probably about the 12, 13-year mark. I just got to the point that I couldn't find a new place to touch, move, feel. You just get to the point where it's like, all right, there's nothing here new to do.
Right.
It's like, remember those puzzles that you used to get when you were like 4 years old? They had like 5 pieces. Toot, 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 toot. And that was it. It was, and at first, because you were young and stupid, it was a little bit difficult. But after about a week, you wouldn't even up off the floor.
It's already conquered ground.
Yeah, don't need it. Don't care.
Right.
That's what fucking 12 years into the marriage is.
Sure.
There's just nothing left to touch.
Right.
Nothing. Like, okay, well, we're going to try something different. And even when you try, I'm trying to think of a way to tell this story. All right, I have a friend. I have a friend that was looking to spice things up in his life.
Really?
And that friend bought this book. Okay? And the book was one of those things that gives you like 1,000 different things to do in the bedroom.
Right.
You know, and this friend was really, really, you know, what was going on. And so was his chick, I've heard. So the bad part about this book, though, was that you would get past the initial parting, you know, that you're like trying, like, you know, make rose petals in the fucking
right
in the fucking bathtub and bath salts and all that shit, right?
Sure.
And you do all that stuff, and that part is different, but you end up in the same fucking place.
Right.
You're still in the same I've touched all this before place, and it's like, ugh.
Well, apparently there's somebody reading your Facebook.
Who?
Norge.
Oh, about the green beans.
Well, my biggest problem with being in a relationship, and same thing, you know, just trying to spice things up a little bit, buying your chick,
right,
and then I feel like a whore.
Well, yeah,
and that's the end of it.
Yeah, but that's kind of what chicks. I don't understand where the whole marriage means that you can't still have dirty fucking.
Well, see, there you go. That's the whole thing. It's just like, I can't wear that. It makes me feel like a whore.
Yeah, but there's certain times, if you want it to be fun, it can't always be meaningful. It's just that simple. Dude, I mean, you know as well as I do, there's certain, all philosophical, I guess I'm going to bang it out, where you're like, there's a good thing going on, you know, you accomplish something, she accomplished something, together you accomplish something to where the sex self is like fucking meaningful and passionate and that kind of shit. And that's cool, but you can't do that every time.
Right.
Most of the time it's got to be, you dirty slut,
right,
fucking bite down on this pillow. That's what it's got to be, and it's got to be fucking dirty, and you got to be slapping her ass and fucking bouncing her on your dick and fucking saying dirty shit.
Sure.
You have to sometimes, or it's no fun.
Yeah, I get it, dude. I mean, you get it, I get it. I'm sure most of our male audience get that. But unfortunately, for a lot of women, and that's not all, they think that if you go down that road, that's all you want, is you just want a slut.
So what?
Well, that's their thought. It's just
here's always my thought with this, and I never understood why that's a problem. If you treat her like a slut in public, then it's a problem.
Yeah, I agree.
But in the bedroom, whatever.
Sure.
In the bedroom, do you really need fucking rose petals and candles and fucking...
Yeah, well, it's got to be easy and gentle.
Romantic music and all that shit? I mean, do you need... Every once in a while, that's good. The first time you nail a chick, that's fucking good.
Right.
The 400th time you nail a chick, do you really need that fucking Boys to Men End of the Road song playing while you're plowing her pussy? No. You just fucking... You could throw on fucking Master of Puppets and hit that shit.
Sure.
That's the way it should be.
That doesn't work that way, pal.
But it should.
It doesn't work that way.
That's where the ladies don't get us guys.
Right.
They say that it's us that has the problem. That's untrue.
Right.
It's them that don't get it.
Look at Diamond Ryan. Rose petals. What a fag.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. The rose petal thing is a chick thing.
Right.
That's a total chick thing.
Sure.
And you know what? You want to call me a fag? I'm a fag, but I did the rose petal thing.
Sure, you gotta please your chick now and again. But
I was married a lot of years. I did a lot of faggy shit.
Right.
Man, I was married 23 long years, man.
You just gotta appease.
There was a lot of fucking Harlequin moments.
Right.
What are those fucking precious moments?
Right.
There was a lot of that bullshit bought. There was a lot of rose petals. There was a lot of fucking candles.
Right.
You play the game sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, I had a chick that I've talked about on the show a few times, and you know, the relationship happened over 20 years ago, and you know, I had got reacquainted with this girl over the last 4 years.
Right.
And, you know, it was like a 20-year gap there that I didn't see or hear from her.
Mm-hmm.
And she had gone through some personal shit.
Okay.
And all she tells me is that all she did was regret how she handled things 20 years ago and would appreciate how much she appreciates what happened then. And she had wished she had handled things better, because now she realizes that, you know, the way that she got treated and the things that I did for her were not what every guy does.
Sure. And I mean, look, none of us are perfect at it. I'll never try and say, well, everything I did was right. I did a lot of fucking wrong shit, too.
Everybody does.
You know, and but that's part of the game, too. But, man, oh, man, this whole everything's got to be this fucking sacramental, you know, precious. Guess what? You know, the reality is that pussy's not that big of a deal.
Well, which is why prostitution is so huge.
It is. And which is why no matter what you look like, you can get laid at 2:30 in the morning.
Absolutely.
Because there's always somebody willing to fucking spread their legs.
Right.
It's always there. You just have to go and fucking get it.
Right. But, you know, people say that they don't understand. Why, you know, I don't get why prostitution, and why do you got to do that? It's because they give me what you want.
Yeah. Well, when you go with a hooker, though, you're not paying for the pussy. You're paying for him to go away.
Right.
That's what you're paying for.
Yeah.
You're not paying for the sex, because anybody can go out and get sex except Elliott Rodger.
Sure.
You know, everybody else can get laid.
Right.
You know, the real thing that you're paying for is to not have the bullshit that comes with it.
Sure.
You're paying to not cuddle.
Right.
You're paying to not hold me and let's talk. You're paying for, okay, I busted, let's move on.
Right.
Have a nice night. I'm going to go watch the fucking Sopranos.
You're an insensitive beast.
Okay.
You insensitive beast.
Then that's fine.
Nice.
That's fine. I'm happy to be an insensitive beast as long as I'm satisfied sometimes.
Sure.
But not all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm down with all that shit.
Well, it's not all about you, pal.
Well, it should be. I'm fucking the most important person in the room.
Nice.
I'm the one with the penis.
Right.
Doesn't that scream importance?
Yeah. It's got to count for something.
Yeah, really.
Oh, man. How did we get into this again?
I don't even know.
We were
talking about a serial killer.
Yeah, Elliott Rodger.
Yeah, Elliott Rodger. We led to fucking how to fuck.
Right. Wow. So lack of sex drove him to blow away some people.
What a douche.
Wow.
And that video, I hate these people sitting on the park bench.
Right.
What a fucking fairy.
Regardless of his take on things, I think my biggest disdain came from the wailing, weeping parents who blame the government for this.
Yeah, we need more gun control.
And it's just like, dude, really? You're blaming the government for your son blowing people away? Really?
Yeah. Well, if the kid bought the gun legally, okay, then I guess you can have some semblance of anger with the government on that. But if the kid took his dad's gun or whatever, which is what I suspect happened, I guess you got to blame the dad now, don't you?
Yeah, well, regardless of it, it's just like people don't realize that no matter how many laws are in place, it won't keep anyone from doing anything that they really want to set out to do.
Right. I mean, do you think if you took all the guns off the street, people wouldn't be crafting them themselves?
No, they figure out how to get it.
It'd be the same way as fucking Prohibition. People learned how to make stills and
Absolutely.
fucking brew it.
Actually, Prohibition was the most profitable time for bootleggers.
Of course.
It was huge.
It was. And do you think with guns, there wouldn't be people in the woods all over the place making shotguns?
Sure they would.
They'd be all over that shit.
Man, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
So it's but I see these horrific images on the news of these guys, these parents weeping and wailing, which I understand. It's a horrific thing to lose a kid.
Yeah, sure.
But blaming somebody else other than, the parent of the kid who did this?
Yeah, I don't even know that you blame. I mean, the kid was 23 years old. You blame that kid and that's it. That's it. I mean, you can't blame anybody else. It was that kid that did it.
Yeah. No law would have stopped this kid.
Yeah, that gun didn't load itself. That gun didn't pull its own trigger.
Right.
It was the fucking crazy kid that did it.
Right.
Sorry.
Well, it's against the law to rob a bank.
Yeah.
It's against the law to speed.
Yep.
Do people speed?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Do people rob banks? Yep.
Yep.
Do people, participate in what's known as white collar crime, be it embezzlement and things like that? Of course they do.
Just look at DC.
Are there laws against that? Sure there are.
Of course there are, but no one follows them.
Nobody stops that.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah. The whole thought of, well, now there's a law. It'll be all fixed.
Yeah, okay, right.
Fucking crazy.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So, all right. Enough about that nonsense.
All right.
Well, don't we have our I Hate God guy coming up?
We do. Mike 9 from from I Hate God.
Can we just change his name to Mike Tech 9?
He can be Tech 9.
Yeah, let's call him Tech 9.
All right, well, Tech 9 has a new album. It's just called I Hate God. And, it's ready to go whenever you are.
All right, let's hit it. So what are we playing?
We're going to play a tune called Quitter's Offensive.
That's what that Elliott Rodger should have done. Yeah, Quitter's really. Offensive.
Quitter's Offensive.
Right. All right, well, here's Elliott.
Here's Elliott.
Here's Elliott Rodger burning in hell with Quitter's Offensive, I Hate God, exclusively here
on your classic metal show.